Aita for saying my friend's kid's behavior was disgusting. I am probably automatically the asshole since I am an adult 39F and I was talking to a kid 9F. My bestie and I spend a lot of time together with our kids, trade babysitting since both our husbands are gone a lot for their jobs. We joke we are sister wives. We love each other's kids as our own. During dinner the other night, her daughter 9 had a huge meltdown because I put ketchup on her plate. We have 5 kids between us. I forgot this one hates ketchup. I apologized and said it was a mistake, that I forgot and that I did replayed her food. She screamed that her food was disgusting, inedible, and she was not eating it and threw the food on the floor. I get that kids can be easily upset, but this was over the top. I calmly said the only thing disgusting was her behavior, and when she cleaned up and calmed down I did get her more food. More screaming crying ensued, so I ignored her and sat down to eat. My friend got her kid more food and cleaned up the mess. Later my friend said I was out of line. She said I need to apologize because her daughter is offended and no longer feels pretty because I called her behavior disgusting. I refuse. I did not call her disgusting. I said the behavior was. She also said I was not allowing her to feel her feelings. I said at 9, she should be able to calmly say her food is not right without freaking out and throwing it on the floor. My friend says I do not understand girls because I only have sons. So am I an asshole? I had to do a double take on the age 9 NTA. This is not a boy versus girl thing. This is a manners and discipline thing. It sounds like the pretty young lady does not have either. NTA 9 years old is old enough to not throw food on the floor. Is this behavior normal for her? Because if it is, there might be some underlying issues of why she still throws tantrums. However, you were in the right and were not too harsh. All you said was her behavior was bad. She typically has big reactions to things, like tripping usually gets an I broke my leg type of response. That kind of thing. This is the first time she has thrown food on the floor that I can think of. I have little patience for that kind of behavior. Her mom usually fawns over her big reactions. NTA, as if that behavior could be understood. Your friend asking for you to apologize instead of feeling ashamed of her daughter's behavior is concerning. I thought parents were supposed to get the kids under control, not the other way around. As if that behavior could be understood. I understand the sentiment but did just want to say she could be autistic and that could be why. Undiagnosed autism is a really difficult thing, and that is the only reason I can see for this behavior to be understood, though not excused. Of course, she would just need a different approach to discipline to help her understand. Sounds like the poor child is being enabled by mom. She threw food on the floor. She should be apologizing, not the adult who made her food. If she is autistic, mom should get her tested, but mom should still try to guide her so she behaves better. For example, we do not throw food on the floor. The thing is, if she is not socialized now, she will be the one suffering the consequences in a few years. I would reconsider watching a child I cannot correct. If God forbid she gets hurt because she does not listen, you will be the one in trouble. NTA. Her mom is the asshole here. If your kid misbehaves in public, and people call them on it, it is not the people who are wrong, it is you, the parent. Most well-balanced people I know would apologize for their kid's behavior, not complain about your actions. If your kid misbehaves in public, and people call them on it, it is not the people who are wrong, it is you, the parent, or both. It is not really appropriate to discipline someone else's kid when the parent is there. Sure, you might disagree with another parent's approach, but trying to layer your own style of parenting on is not going to cure the kid or achieve anything. Like, I have done it myself. Just as a reflex, when my kid and my friend's kid are playing, I have told the other kid not to do something, but not as far as editorializing on the other kid's behavior, and I have apologized to the parent. Plus, calling a kid's behavior disgusting is not a very constructive approach to discipline. ESH. NTA, that was poor home training on display. The fact that she is more concerned that you hurt her kid's feelings other than the way her child behaved embarrassingly is troubling. She and her daughter need to apologize to you for the poor behavior. NTA, that child's behavior is disgusting. Children can feel their feelings all they want, but I most certainly draw the line at throwing things, let alone food, on the ground. At best you need to have a talk with the kid and tell her she's not ugly and that you were talking about her behavior, but no, you don't owe her an apology. The kid owes you an apology for acting like that. NTA, if your friend was there, why did not she parent her child in the moment instead of making you do it? 9 years old is old enough to understand right and wrong behavior. If your friend is excusing it at 9, it's just gonna get so much worse when she gets a couple more years older and hits puberty. I literally teach 9-year-olds all day long, and if one of them pulled this shit in school, you can bet they did be in the principal's office with a call put into the parents to boot. That behavior is not acceptable at that age. You handled the situation calmly and rationally. NTA, I admit her reaction threw me for a loop. I was not prepared for the big response. Even though I had the knee-jerk reaction to throw the word disgusting back at her, I made sure to add the word behavior to it, so she would know I was specifically talking about the behavior. NTA, is this out of character for your best friend? Because I am not sure I could get along with someone who thought that my rebuke of a child's abhorrent and age-inappropriate behavior meant her daughter no longer feels pretty. You aren't the asshole here. NTA, you tried to calm a child melting down. You did not discipline the child, just tried to talk some reason into her to quit the public freak out. The reason the child is probably acting out in such a way is because your friend has allowed that type of bad behavior to persist. Your friend is enough. NTA, that kind of tantrum is never okay but would at least be understandable for a toddler. At 9 she should be better able to regulate her own behavior, unless there is some behavioral or cognitive disorder we are unaware of. You were clear the behavior was disgusting, but I would talk to her again. While I would not apologize, a deeper conversation is merited now that everyone is calm. Let her know that your comment was directly related to her behavior. You are not ugly, but your behavior was. I was shocked that a young woman person your age would throw their plate and act out in such a terrible way. What you did is called a tantrum, and it isn't the right way to respond when you are frustrated. I made a mistake and was going to fix it, and you chose to yell and throw your plate on the floor, creating a mess for others to clean and ruining your dinner. It's not okay. NTA, I have been that child. That being said, I stopped around the age of 7, which I now still consider to be too old to act like that. Her parenting method: I am a 17-year-old, not a parent. Trying to tell another parent how to raise their kids is what breeds brats. You let them feel their feelings and learn how to control them. You don't just let them fly off the handle because of a small inconvenience. Furthermore, it was just rude of your friend to be condescending, saying you only know what to do with boys. No, you don't have experience with daughters. Boo you it. Her daughter has no respect for you, your house, your kindness in making dinner. Her issue should be that of embarrassment of her child's behavior. Before I turned 9 again, I think around the age of 7, I had learned how to respectfully tell my friend's parents when what they made wasn't something I could eat. Picky eater due to texture issues, and would be so apologetic and reassuring that I appreciated what they made, but it would bother me to eat it. And speaking from experience, they get more offended when you eat it, and it shows you don't like it than when you just respectfully decline and explain. Long rant. Sorry, but no, you are not the asshole. Your friend is just a bad mom. You are not a bad person. Friend, the youngest of 3 girls and a boy. NTA, but I think your friend is the biggest asshole here. Sounds like if the kid throws a tantrum, mom gives her what she wants. While I would typically say a 9-year-old should know better than to behave that way, a kid who is rewarded for such behavior will believe that it is an appropriate response. Your friend owes you an apology for letting her kid treat you that way. NTA, sorry, but it's not a boy versus girl thing. It is a the child was behaving out of line thing. NTA, this behavior is something a baby toddler would do without truly understanding that it's wrong. The kid is literally 9 years out. She should be out of the tantrum phase, at least 90% out, but she would be 100% out of the throwing food phase. This behavior isn't acceptable for any gender of kids. Throwing food and throwing a fit is literally only one of a young toddler who's still basically a baby does it, as in 12 months, 24 months, maybe even 2, but they can understand no starting soon. The child ain't a baby. Please subscribe.